Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu. Welcome back to Al-Azhar-Institute channel, a channel dedicated to learning classical Arabic, formal Arabic, modern standard Arabic. In this lesson, we will start on the series Al-Arabiyyah Bayna Yadayk. This literally means Arabic between your hands, or you can consider it to mean Arabic within your reach. In case you are not aware, this is the standout textbook series to teach formal Arabic to non-Arabs. It is now taught in well over 70 institutes across the Arab world, and it's considered the gold standard in taking someone from beginner level to near native competency. We will be teaching the new series, the second edition, which is comprised of 4 books. Crucially, unlike other systems and curriculums of teaching Arabic, which are often grammar heavy from the outset, Arabiyyah Bayna Yadayk utilizes an immersion method, particularly in the first 2 books. So it's a very organic approach of learning basic vocabulary and sentence structures, the way a child may first learn a language, or the way you would learn pretty much any other language. By the end of book 1, you should be able to hold a basic conversation in formal Arabic. By the end of book 2, you should be able to both understand and hold an intermediate level conversation in Arabic. As you progress in the series, and certainly in books 3 and 4, and as your language and comprehension improves, there is a lot more emphasis on more advanced texts, including poetry, verses from the Quran, and a hadith, i.e. prophetic sayings. Anyway, that may seem a long way away, but remember, a champion or an expert is simply a beginner who never gave up. So let's get started with book 1, lesson 1. Now, a couple of things to remember. Like with any other lesson on this channel, don't worry about frantically scribbling down all the vocabulary. A free link will be provided with a PDF with all the vocabulary that will be mentioned in this lesson. Secondly, try not to neglect any of the skills of learning a language: reading, writing, speaking, and listening. In particular, the listening and speaking often get neglected, particularly if you are not in an Arab country. So try and concentrate during the listening, even if you don't understand much of it, and the gaps will eventually close. Practice speaking and writing wherever you can. The reading, you'll find, is often the one that gets practiced the most. Anyway, let's get started. So we start with Al-Arabiyyah Bayna Yadayk. As mentioned, this means Arabic between your hands, or Arabic within your reach. It says here, Kitab al-Talibi al-Awwal, the first book of the student, basically book 1. Al-Juz'ul Awwal. Juz means a part, so you have, for example, 30 juz of the Quran. Awwal means first. Al-Juz'ul Awwal, the first part. And Al-Wahdatat, chapters, and 1 to 8. So if we go to the first section, we have Al-Wahdatul Ula, the first chapter. At-Tahiyyatu wa Ta'arruf. At-Tahiyyatu wa Ta'arruf, the greeting and the getting to know one another. Now, one thing to mention at the outset, and we'll just introduce the grammar gradually. Again, as mentioned, this is an immersion way of learning Arabic, so don't be worried too much about bogging yourself about grammar. But probably one key thing to know from the beginning is, like with many languages, unlike English, you have masculine words and feminine words. So, for example, here you have wahdatu, al-wahdatu, which is a feminine word. And we know this because it ends with ta marbuta, this ta sound at the end. Most words that end with ta, zahratun, fathatun, wahdatun, they generally tend to be feminine. And ula is the feminine form of first. So al-wahdatul ula, because again, the adjective matches up with the noun. At-tahiyatu wa ta'arruf, the greeting and the getting to know one another. So we start with the first dialogue here, and here it says Al-Hiwarul Awwal. The Hiwar, Al is there, Hiwar is dialogue or conversation, Awwal is first. Now Al-Hiwar is a masculine word, so Al-Awwal is also masculine. Now if you remember above, just now, we just did Al-Wahdatu, Wahdatul Ula. So Ula is the feminine form of first, and Awwal is the masculine form of first. Al-Hiwarul Awwal, Undur, look, wastami' and listen, wa'a'id and repeat. 3 key principles of learning any language. In Arabic, there is a saying, al-tikraru yu'allimul himar. The repetition teaches the donkey. Not very flattering, but key point is made there that repetition is the foundation of consolidating knowledge. So, undur wastami' wa'a'id. So what we'll do with this dialogue is I'll go through it and then we'll translate it line by line. Then we'll break it down word for word and we'll explain any key principles. So it's a dialogue between Khalid and Khalil. السلام عليكم وعليكم السلام اسمي خالد ما اسمك اسمي خليل كيف حالك بخير والحمد لله وكيف حالك أنت بخير والحمد لله. So how much of that did you understand? Again, don't worry if you didn't understand much of it or any of it. We'll go through it. This is the beginner, absolute beginning of the series. So, Assalamu alaikum. Most of you will know what this means. Assalam, peace be upon you, alaikum. So it's a traditional Islamic greeting used all over the Arab world amongst Christians, atheists, Muslims, and the default return is wa alaikum assalam. And upon you, peace. Ismi Khalid. Masmuka. My name is Khalid. What is your name? Ismi Khalid. Masmuka. My name is Khalid. What is your name? Ismi Khalil. My name is Khalil. Ismi Khalil. Kayfa haluka. Kayfa haluka. How are you? How are you? Bikhairin walhamdulillah. Bikhairin walhamdulillah. I am well by the grace of God. I am well by the grace of God. وكيف حالك أنت؟ وكيف حالك أنت? And how are you? بخير والحمد لله. I am well by the grace of God. So, Assalamu alaikum as mentioned. Peace be upon you. Wa alaikum salam and peace be upon you. Ismi Khalid. My name is Khalid. Masmuka. What is your name? Ma is what? Ism is name. Ka is addressing someone who is a male. So, Masmuka. What is your name? Ismi Khalil. Ismi Khalil. Ismi, whether you're a male or a female, it means my name. So you can say Ismi Abdul, Ismi Khadija, Ismi John, Ismi Maryam, Ismi Khalil. Kaifa haluka. Kaifa means how. Haluka literally means your condition or your state, but it's basically how are you. Kaifa haluka. Bikhairin walhamdulillah. So, bikhairin means with goodness, but basically means I am well. Walhamdulillah. And wa is and. Hamd is praise. Allah is God. And praise be to God. Wa, as mentioned, means and. Wa kayfa haluka anta. And what is your condition, you? Basically, and how are you? Bikhairin walhamdulillah. I am well, walhamdulillah. Now listen to the dialogue again and just see how much you manage to retain. And as mentioned, don't worry, we have all the vocabulary in a free PDF link available for you. So, Assalamu alaikum wa alaikum assalam. Ismi Khalid. Masmuka. Ismi Khalil. Kayfa haluka? Bikhairin walhamdulillah. Wa kayfa haluka anta? Bikhairin walhamdulillah. Now, we have the second dialogue here, and it's very similar, but as mentioned, you have masculine and feminine, so there will be slight difference. This is a dialogue between two women, Khawla and Khadija. Assalamu alaikum wa alaikum assalam. Ismi Khawla, masmuki. Ismi Khadija. Kayfa haluki? Bikhairin walhamdulillah. Wa kayfa haluki anti? Bikhairin walhamdulillah. So again, we start at the top. Assalamu alaikum. Peace be upon you. That stays the same. Wa alaikum assalam. And upon you is peace. Ismi Khawla. So first person words, it doesn't matter what the gender is, it's still the same. Ismi Khawla. Masmuki. So here it's ki instead of ka. Right? So remember above, it was masmuka for males. So masmuka ya John. But here it's masmuki ya Khadija. Oh, well, she doesn't know. She's asking, what is your name? But because she's addressing a woman, it's masmuki. Ismi Khadija. Kayfa haluki. So now it's kayfa haluki. Instead of ka, which was for man, for a male, this is kayfa haluki. Bikhairin walhamdulillah. I am well, alhamdulillah. All praise be to God. وَكَيْفَ حَالُكِ أَنْتِ. So again, because it's addressing a female, and how are you yourself, and how are you? بِخَيْرٍ وَالْحَمْدُ لِلَّهِ. Anyway, we'll stop there. Have a read of the PDF that will be available free via the link below. And if you found this useful, do like, subscribe, and there'll be a lot more coming in the way of classical formal Arabic you're learning. So make sure to like, subscribe, and leave a comment down below. See if you can write your name in Arabic or English down below.